Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Soup Breakdown. Today we'll be looking at the LM111EO2 Gun EZ, piloted by Junko Genko. Now the the Gun EZ has multiple different pilots you can choose from the Shrike team, if you unlock them by leveling it up a little bit. Junko is the first pilot that you have access to. It is a pretty basic 200. It has the standard beam rifle shots that recharge on their own. It has the nice little beam bazooka there, which is just pretty solid damage if it hits, but does not have any homing on it at all, so it's completely up to you to aim. You have the missiles that you can fire. That they have slight homing on them, but they are not easy to hit with. The real advantage that it has is this little shield shot that it has. I'm trying to think of what a good name for it would be. That allows you to do this sliding shot that you can cancel out of if it doesn't look like you're going to be able to hit. And you can switch between multiple sides there. It takes a little while to build back up again, so once you hit with it, that's pretty much it. Go ahead and show the burst while we can. You send out the entire Shrike team, and they continue to attack for a brief period of time. And then you can still, of course, attack during that time. So working together with the rest of the Shrike team is a very good recommendation. However, like in Victory, the Gun EZ is fragile. It goes down quick, even among 200s. And it does not do a lot of damage. It's very basic in its damage. The real advantage is in the answers that it has for mid-range, between the bazooka, the missiles, and this amazing little slight movement ability that allows you to kind of dodge away from attacks while also blocking incoming ballistic shots of its own. Pretty nice. However, again, the Gun EZ is really fragile, and it's very, very easy to die as the Gun EZ. Now, most 200s are fragile, so it's not a huge thing, but it feels almost like the Gun EZ is more fragile, which would make sense considering Victory. But the melee combos are pretty decent. I really like that shield bash that is the back melee. However, having just come off the Vig Nagina, the Gun EZ feels slow. Which does not, it's not fair to the Gun EZ that we just came off the Vig Nagina, but, you know, we did. I do think the amount of options that it has on offer, though, are pretty solid. Even if most of them you do need to be, like, short to mid-range to be able to really capitalize on. The Striker's pretty nice in that it has 4 charges and fires twice when it does. So you could theoretically fill the air with the R2 beam rifle shot with the shield up, which is pretty nice. You could have quite a few of those going. The question then becomes, of course, should you use the Gun EZ? Well, among 200s, the Gun EZ doesn't really offer that much more for long range than other 200s. It doesn't offer that much more for mid-range, honestly, than most 200s. The gun tank has quite a few more options than the Gun EZ does. And then the Vig Nagina, of course, has the crazy movement. But the Gun EZ does have some nice tricks up its sleeve. And although, again, it doesn't have a stun, it doesn't have any real stopping power to it, it does have this move here, which can be extremely tricky and allow you to poke at your opponent, especially if they don't expect you to be able to do that. I do think there's something to be said for the burst and how useful it is, because it's very easy to pin people down with that burst. I do think, however, that it would have been nice if that burst maybe had a shorter cooldown than other bursts. Because it really is the main selling point of the Gun EZ, in my opinion, if you compare it to other 200s. It just really doesn't have a lot of the options it needs to be able to stop people and hold them down, compared to a lot of the other 200s. So that burst is really special, and unfortunately it's just not something you're going to get all the time. We've taken well over half our health and taken out a 400 completely, and we still don't have our burst yet. So don't expect it to be something you get all the time. Unless you're dying all the time, unfortunately. But with all that said, should you use the Gun EZ? For short range, yeah, it's probably really worth it. But among its peers, I don't honestly think the Gun EZ is that worth it. I'm not a huge fan of the way that it was utilized in this game. The Gun EZ is a fine suit in Victory, but it's nothing really to write home about, I guess you could say. I just don't think that what it does in this game, it doesn't fill a good enough niche, in my opinion, for anything except for the burst. And as we talked about, you don't get the burst often enough for it to really be a factor. But with all that said, I have been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the Gun EZ has to offer.